how does it happen? He even didn't know how it happened.
Well,
Aaron Judge hadn't made an error in the outfield all year.
Yep.
And he drops a can of corn. Fly.
Gold Glover.
I mean,
The Angels in the outfield.
I don't even know what to say.
We've seen this movie. It was Angels in the outfield. There was something in there messing with all their perception. That's all. It's that simple. Science.
I was never so happy to be playing soccer at the same time as a World Series game as I was last night. And then I got home in time to see the end of it and get sad.
I should have turned the TV off after the fourth inning.
Right?
I said to my wife, it's 5-0 Yankees. She was like, oh, good. I'm like, yeah, relax. Until the final pitch is thrown, anything can happen.
You spoke it into reality.
I didn't do anything. They did it to themselves.
They did. Hey, listen.
All I know is I would have known to cover first base, and I could have caught that fly ball, and I get paid a lot less than those two jerk-offs, too.
I was going to say, he knows to cover first base, but could he get his ass over there before the runner?
You know what? At least I'd make the effort, okay? I wouldn't stop halfway.
Your legs would have been moving faster, but it would have taken the same amount of time.
Hey, whatever. Look, at least I would have tried, okay? I wouldn't have just been like, what am I doing over here?
Hey, listen. I mean, of all the times I have a brain fart, that's the first. His first, Aaron Judge's first of all the times. That's when it happens. So what are you gonna do?
I mean, in one respect, I started wondering, like that game one, they were winning until they weren't, and then I started wondering if they ran out of gas after the ALCS, but then they won game 4, so I was like,
I know what we can do for the lead-in. I'll start talking.
We've been recording this whole time.
We haven't even introduced ourselves.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they know who we are.
Yeah, we're
what
gonna.
I was gonna do is I would start talking. I was gonna go, and you guys would be like, "Are you choking?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I don't like the Yankees."
I would never say that about the Yankees.
Oh, I would.
Because in my mind, nothing happened.
What happened? The whole season's gone?
Like I said, the Knicks played a great game. Karl Anthony Towns is going to be a monster in the paint. That's what happened that night.
All I know is on Monday when there was those memes going around about 4 New York teams in 4 separate leagues lost for the same time on the same day. I did not expect the New York Red Bulls to be the first win after that. I had written them off.
You know, it's a bad year when the only parade you're getting is the Liberty.
Hey, shout out to the Liberty.
As opposed to no parade?
Well, what was there, 10 people there?
I don't know. I didn't actually see.
I thought I saw something for a second, but
they didn't market it as well as I had hoped.
The WNBA doesn't get marketed that well anyway. None of the women's sports do.
Yeah, pretty much. Except the Women's World Cup. That's it. So what are you going to do? So with that, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Good, the Bad, the Encyclopedia. I am the good, albeit depressed, and for reasons that you've just heard. But I'm the Reverend Jason Todd, and with us, as always, is the bad, back from his brief hiatus, the Devil's Advocate.
I worked every angle last night, and I don't know. I came up short.
You sound really broken up about that in both ways.
Yeah, great technical difficulty timing there.
I think that was just the stress of the situation showing. And also with us, the man of knowledge himself, the encyclopedia. What's going on?
I've recovered, but still, But
147 days of spring training. That's right. I'm making a number up. It's around that, though.
That's right, folks. If you haven't been listening for the last 4 or 5 years, Rob's only sport is baseball and sometimes football if he gets bored.
I like football.
I hope so, because
that's all I got.
That's all that's on this weekend.
All right. So
there's soccer.
That's not soccer. All right, so let's talk a little bit about NXT. Let's talk a little Halloween Havoc. I know you guys watched the entire show. I did not watch the entire show. I only got to watch some of it. Who wants to give their thoughts on the show in general? Go ahead, Encyclopedia. Tell us what you think.
He asked the question, he didn't even let us answer it.
You were voluntold, my friend.
Somebody's got
what
to
are
run
you
this show. Go
Man,
ahead.
one of the people on my soccer team tells me what to do, and I'm the damn captain. It was a good show. I don't think it was a great show. If you guys really want to have some fun with this, you could joke that it was like WrestleMania 27 all over again. The show was setting up the NXT 2300 arena show next week.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the first two matches were good. I was really impressed with the women's tag team matches specifically. I thought they were firing on all cylinders, so I thought they did a nice job on that. But it was a good show. And then all of the NXT shows have been good to great. And you can say the same thing about AEW pay-per-views. I don't think this is one that I would tell people, oh, you got to go watch it. So that's it. A few words on this one. Toss it over to the Reverend Jason Todd, who, folks, this will be his last live recording with us for a while. He'll be migrating to the land of the rising sun for the next 5 to 6 weeks.
That's right.
On another pilgrimage.
That's right. Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
He's going to
Can't
walk
wait.
the earth.
No, actually, I'm going to fly because it's a lot faster, I found. Yeah, it was a good show. The first two matches, I'm going to echo what you're saying, Encyclopedia. The first two matches were it for me. That's your show. The women's tag was great. I didn't expect all of them to gel as well as they did, and also I wasn't as familiar with Stephanie Vaquera except for when she had that match with Mercedes Moné. So I hadn't really seen everything she does, and this, we get to see a finisher from her, and that's a pretty damn good finisher. Yeah, it was fun. The Tony D'Angelo and Obafemi match, I liked it more than I expected. There were so many gimmick matches this show, and you get kind of tired of them after a bit, or at least I do. But that one was early enough in the night that it was fun to watch, and they made him look still pretty monstrous in defeat. And I still maintain what I said to you last week, Encyclopedia. Obafemi could have lost that match and then walked right into the main event later on that night, and nobody would have batted an eye. They would have just been like, yeah, he belongs there. He's just too ridiculously strong. Yeah, other than that, it did feel weird that they were using a PLE to set up a regular TV show for the next couple of weeks. Yeah, for like 2 weeks away. But other than that, it really was that. Main event was cool. Again, setting up that, and I think I told y'all before, like I said, I've only seen Bully Ray from about this angle on his show on Busted Open, and I didn't expect to see so much Bully Ray when
They
he
should
got
call
to
it.
the ring.
They should call it Busted Out, not Busted Open.
The shirts, busting out that shirt, man. Hey, I mean, he was always a big boy to begin with, so I guess it's not too crazy. But and I'm sure when they have their match, he'll be able to go. He knows what he's doing in the ring. I'm sure he'll be fine. But yeah, it was cool. I actually did like the interaction with him and what's his name who beat Chase?
Ridge.
Why can't Ridge Holland? Yeah, I like that interaction that they had earlier in the night, and I like the interaction that they had during that little interlude with off in the crowd where he's like, you interrupted us twice. That's twice. You're not getting another warning. I thought that was pretty cool. And then the North American title, the best thing about it is the best thing about that match is that Fallon Henley finally has a championship.
And Kalani Jordan, the green, no longer kind of ironic that she was wearing green when she lost the belt.
I mean, yeah, she's green. Half the roster is green.
She's greener than most.
Cool.
She's got the athletic ability. The charisma's not there yet.
That's what they're doing. I mean, I do find actually, now that you bring that up, I'm kind of interested because NXT is doing something interesting where they'll put the title on somebody who might not necessarily know what to do. But you can do that if you're developmental, because if you're developmental, it doesn't matter who you put the title on because they're all learning how to do this. But I'm interested if that means that they'll be retooling her, or if they're going to let her keep trying to be this face person, or give her an actual let her develop an actual character. Now I don't know.
I'd put her on a one-way path to the Level Up show. And Rob and I were shaking our heads when you were saying about the championship and developmental. Just like, no,
it is developmental. I mean, I don't know.
But
I don't know if
but you don't have to put the belt on somebody that's not ready.
But here's my problem, Reverend.
Yes.
Is NXT developmental or isn't it?
It is
because they often treat it like it isn't, but they have people on the show where it is. So is it or isn't it? And they keep bringing people from Raw and SmackDown over to NXT and having them challenge for titles and stuff. So why would Aaron Judge? I know, bad example right now, but why would a major leaguer go to the minor league? And like, why would he want to challenge for the minor league home run championship?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. So I don't understand NXT because I think we all think it's developmental, but it doesn't seem like they're treated that way. Because at one point, Charlotte Flair was NXT champion, and she'd already been in the main roster.
Becky Lynch was NXT
Lynch,
champion.
Right. You know, and I realize they're doing things to get ratings. You know, you bring the big names in to get ratings, but to me, I think they have blurred the lines, and I don't think that's a good thing, because I think you have some people that are really ready to be on the main roster, and then you have some people that need a lot of work, and they shouldn't really be on the same show.
Two other people they've been blurring that line with, and it's kind of surprising to me, are in the women's tag division, because you've had Metaphor ladies, Lash and Jakara. They've been going on to every show, and they've been facing SmackDown and Raw talent on NXT.
Well, that's the other
weird.
The other argument I have with WWE right now is you're supposed to be on a certain show, but you keep showing up on other shows. Like the Usos just seem to show up on whatever show they want to show up on. And the Bloodline's on Raw this week.
Yeah.
And it's like, which is it, guys? I thought we were brand splits. I guess we're not anymore. I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, they made a big deal, like, we're going to allow this guy to be on the show this week, or we're going to allow the woman to be on the show this week. And then now everybody just shows up whenever they feel like it. I think they're sacrificing a little bit of continuity for storyline. And, look, whatever. If, you knew Jey Uso eventually was going to get back on with the Bloodline and all that. But technically, he's a Raw guy, so he really shouldn't be showing up on SmackDown. So I don't know what that's all about. They seem to like it. They've blurred the lines in a lot of places.
I like when they show up like out of the crowd, or they run in. I like run-ins. I'm a big fan of that. Jey Uso showing up to mess up the tag titles a couple of weeks ago, or last week. That made sense, and he just showed up to do it. Even when they showed up to mess up his IC title defense,
which came first.
I like how that happened. Yes, which came first. I liked how that happened.
And Rob, they've had Aldis calling Nick, yelling at him about getting his guys in line. So it's not like they're not acknowledging that there is crossing
they're
shows.
Just ignoring it.
Right.
No, he called the guy.
It's actual tension.
Right.
But I mean, they're
Aldis
ignoring him. They're showing up anyway.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah, but they're not like insulting the viewer into being like, "Oh yeah, you guys need to pretend that they're ignoring this."
Right.
They're not.
It is.
Speaking of
part
debut,
of that.
You brought up an interesting point. Did you guys do you feel like the Motor City Machine Guns don't belong in WWE?
I think they rushed them to the belts. I don't think that a lot of fans, myself included, have watched a lot of their work to know who the hell they are or give a crap.
Because I watched the matches I watched the match when they got into the title match, and I watched the title match. Number one, the title match, they looked like they were just an afterthought because there was a whole angle surrounding. So I mean, I don't feel like they got I don't know what they were so excited about winning the title for. They didn't do anything to get it. And the week before, I felt like they were pushing. They're innovators. But WWE people have seen all these moves before. So when they show up, they don't look like the innovators. They look like copying. To me, they look like they were copying people that were already there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I wasn't when I saw them, I was like, wow, they're still doing some of those moves. Some of their moves looked even a little old, like old school almost. I don't know. I thought it was strange. They don't really look like they fit the mold of a WWE team. So I was kind of disappointed when I saw it. I was like, kind of a lackluster debut. And then they, like Anthony said, they shotgunned them to the title.
I was surprised they did that night. Like that was weird.
It was the crowd and the storyline, but they were in Brooklyn when they did that. They knew the Brooklyn fans would at least give them some sort of reaction, which they did. Probably not as loud as they hoped for, but
that was also the best place to have that qualifier match.
Yeah,
with DIY, because Brooklyn crowd will care about both teams.
Per se, I mean, I love Gargano and Ciampa, but I don't feel like
before.
I like Gargano and Ciampa a lot, but I don't feel like they've gotten. I don't feel like they get huge reactions on the main roster. Let's put it that way. But you could say that about a lot of the NXT guys,
right?
Since Triple H took over.
That's true. That's why I mean specifically Brooklyn crowd, though. I felt like those two would get the right kind of reactions in Brooklyn. I don't know if they do. They don't on the rest during the rest of the shows. It's just people have forgotten about them. So, but yeah, I don't think it hurts too much. To your question, I don't think it hurts. I thought that it was quick, and hopefully they do something with the titles, but we never know if they care about the tag team titles enough to consistently do something with them. But they looked good on Friday, and hopefully they continue to look good. And that's all you can hope is they highlight, they spotlight those titles. Otherwise, then, yeah, I don't know why they would have hot-shotted them except for the Bloodline story. And he could have done that a week later.
Well, they recorded 2 weeks worth of shows, so
that's true.
This would have been the same crowd.
That's true. Well, then, okay, that's fair.
All right.
They don't have faith. They don't have faith in recording shows in Saudi. That's for sure.
I'm a little curious. What did you think about the matches you did see from Halloween Havoc?
The one thing I was confused about, and I've just started watching. I've been trying to watch consistently now the last couple of weeks, but in the Oba Femi match, is Tony D'Angelo's the face?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. The Mafia Don is the face.
He's been tweener, I think, going to around WrestleMania, but now he's like full-fledged face. I think they've been teasing it for a while because he challenged for the NXT title at one point, and that was around the time that it started. Like, okay, is he good now?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, and I don't know if they're going to keep going in that direction with him either. But I think in that instance, Oba Femi is such a monster that no matter who you put against them, they're a face.
Yeah. Do you think it's time for Oba to make it to the main roster? You think because
no,
you don't think so?
Not yet. He needs to do more in NXT. They could put him in the main roster, but I think he'd get lost in the shuffle.
I could see a Royal Rumble appearance.
Yeah.
Maybe an NXT title reign before he fully got called up.
Yeah. Maybe a moment with Gunther in the Rumble, if Gunther doesn't have the title at that point, or maybe a moment with, I don't know, a Drew McIntyre, because McIntyre will do something to make him look good. Everybody would do something to make him look good, but there's some folks you could see like having that moment in the chaos with.
Dun dun. Dun dun. Dun dun.
The other match I saw, the ladies match, I mean, I really wanted to see Stephanie Vicor and Julia. Julia. So I
I
wanted
know
to
it's
see
Halloween,
that match.
but still.
He just watched The Wedding Singer.
Julia. No. I wanted to see that match, so it was good. And like I said, I wanted to watch the rest of it. I just didn't get a chance. But I'm trying. I actually set up the tape NXT in my DVR so I can actually watch it on TV now. So I'm trying to get caught up. I mean, it was. I thought the tables, ladders, and scares match was good. I liked it. And then I read about the rest of it, and I was like, they want to grab any of these other matches. I'm not so sure. So, and it sounds like I was right according to you guys. So I'm not so worried about going back.
The weird thing is the way that show was structured. You have a TLC match, TLS match, whatever, and then the main event later on is basically no rules. So you're going to have all the same elements again.
Right.
And it's something we talked about with some of the previous AEW shows too, where too many people are doing the same thing and it becomes, it just washes over. So I don't know how it was for the crowd, but parts was like, okay, another chair thing. Well,
the
okay,
ambulance
maybe they'll
match
do
is
something
also
different.
no rules, right? So I mean, there were three really, and then the spin the wheel match, was that a no rules too?
Well, the spin the wheel was done for the TLS match, for the championship match, and then they did it before the show went on the air during the pre-show for the gauntlet match. Right. So they used it for 3 matches, but two of them were done set up on the NXT shows leading in.
Yeah. So they had a lot of, like you said, a lot of gimmick matches. So
yeah. Which I mean, I guess maybe they've done that consistently with Halloween Havoc since for NXT. Maybe they've been doing that, and it just didn't occur to me that it was going to be an all gimmick show. But I don't know. Sometimes you just want to see people beat each other up, with their hands.
Well, then you could watch boxing of the UFC.
And their feet and their knees and their elbows, and perhaps a shot to the turnbuckle.
Okay, well that's
and an Irish whip. Because what is wrestling if not defined by the Irish whip?
It wasn't UFC, but there is a clip on YouTube of a guy that put a sharpshooter on as an opponent in an MMA cage match. Like, are you kidding me?
If that happened to me, I'd retire immediately.
Did the guy put it on, go, dude, this isn't real, right? This doesn't hurt.
Actually, I think he screamed a little bit. I'll show the clip offline if I can find it. Anyway,
I'm sure somebody told that to Stu Hart back in the day. That's not a real move, right? Okay, yeah, I'll show you how it's not real.
Mm-hmm. So
you want to get down in the dungeon, stretch it a little bit, to show you how it's done. Maybe you tap out a little bit.
Wow, a Stu Hart impression. Jeez, whoever thought you'd hear that?
Terrible one.
Wow. Okay. So this week on NXT, right, the weekly show, Rhea Ripley got injured. Right, we found out she broke her orbital bone. So I read something online.
NXT.
What's that?
It was
Raw or NXT?
No, it was on NXT. He's right.
NXT, you're right. That's right.
I read something online that some people were claiming it's a work because they're worried that Rhea and Liv, that kind of run its course, and they want to keep it going. So the easiest way to do that is to take Rhea off TV for a while and have her come back. But I was trying to do my research online, and I couldn't find anything. It looks like she's legitimately hurt.
Did you see the X-rays?
No, but I mean, from what they're saying is that she's legitimate. She's going to go ahead and she's going to need treatment because they're saying when she delivered the headbutt, she hit I think
Raquel.
She hit Raquel's shoulder or something like that. So they were trying to. She's going to be out. I was hoping
we lost you for about 10 seconds.
For a sec. Yeah.
I was going to say I was hoping she'd come back with the Undertaker type mask. That would be cool. If the Undertaker gifted his mask, that would be kind of cool.
The Phantom mask.
Yeah.
By the way, I stand corrected. It was actually the Walls of Jericho, and the son of a bitch did tap out.
Listen. Maybe it's because I'm in
Okay.
my 40s now. If somebody put me in any variation of a Boston Crab, I'm tapping out. My back ain't meant to do that anymore.
All right,
It
all right,
can't.
Ricky Martel. I don't know. What any thoughts on Rhea and that whole angle? Do you think she thinks she's legitimately hurt?
I didn't think there was much debate on this one. I think she's legitimately hurt, and probably a good thing they didn't put the belt back on her.
Yeah. I think probably legit, but I love being in a time where people don't know, and that's the debate. Oh, are they really hurt? Because that was the debate back in the day. Oh, so and so. Oh, wow, so and so's really hurt. I think they're going to be gone for a while. Oh, I love that where people don't know, and then a bunch of people think they know, and they don't know either.
So who do you think moves into the challenger spot now for Liv Morgan? Because they've done a real piss poor job of putting anybody else up.
I mean, you could, in theory, have Tiffy cash in now,
Yeah.
and then you got a feud for a little bit.
So if no, you know what? I'll hold that question because I read something online that somebody made a claim about cashing in at Crown Jewel, but we'll talk about that when we get to our picks because I want to bring that up and see what your thoughts are. Let's move over to AEW for a minute. So we had a couple of
Just one thing real quick. There are some people who were on the injured list who might be coming back anytime soon. So I'm thinking like, if hey, you need a challenger who could reasonably a reasonable threat to take the title off of somebody, Asuka's
like
coming
Charlotte.
back. Charlotte's always looming around. So there's a few people out there that you could have a good program with her for Liv.
Does anybody on this show want Charlotte back?
That's why I said Asuka first.
No, especially if they're gonna just hot shot her and put the belt back on her. Definitely not.
Yeah.
No.
Don't miss her in the least.
And
that's
the
I'm
thing.
surprised how much I don't either.
With Liv, it's got to be her escaping with the title. That's got to be the story going forward until Rhea comes back. Because it just doesn't feel. It wouldn't make sense otherwise.
Well, then I mean, you can throw anybody at her. Then you can throw Shayna or Io or
Yeah.
If you're just using placeholders, you've got a roster full of placeholders. I mean, shit, you can throw Natalya in there.
Well, come on now.
Well, come on. If you need someone to look at the lights, she can do that. Oh wait,
reasonable threats.
We're trying to recruit Freddie to fill in while I'm on vacation and Jason's away in Japan, and you're going to bring up Natalya.
Hey, it's not
that
like
should be the
Tommy
theme
Dreamer.
for the episode.
That's like the number one thing you don't bring up to him is Natalya.
No, Tommy Dreamer's number one. Natalya might be number two.
She's number two. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Right? That's fair, right?
See, she doesn't even win that. So come on.
I was going to make a joke about her not being able to see, but I thought that might have been in bad taste, so I left it alone. When I said she was looking up the lights, I was going to go, oh, wait, she can't, but never mind. But then I just did it, so whatever. Okay.
If you're still listening at this point, you know what our shtick is, so.
Look, I can't help it. Okay. All right, so let's move over to AEW. So we had a couple things that we wanted to discuss. One of them is the debut of Bobby Lashley. Tony Khan has collected one of his latest toys again. Not really sure where Bobby Lashley fits in.
Another faction, basically. That's it.
I mean, to me, the problem with Lashley is like right now, Moxley and his crew is kind of running the show, right? So you would have thought they might have brought Lashley in as the opponent for Moxley, right? And instead, he's going after Swerve. I don't know. I was kind of like, he came out and I was like, all right, what are they going to do with him now? I always feel like Tony collects his toys, but he doesn't know how to use them.
Yeah.
And we've got plenty of guys sitting on the sidelines, right? We have tons of guys sitting on the sidelines that he doesn't use. I mean, where's Wardlow? Right? Where's Miro? Did we need Bobby Lashley? Did we need Shelton Benjamin? Not that I don't like those guys. It's just I don't know where they fit into the big picture. So I don't really know. I don't know where they what the plan is for those guys. Are they just gonna main event a few pay-per-views and then disappear? I mean, what do you guys see with Bobby Lashley? What do you see going on with him, and where's he going?
Nope. I'm saying nothing. I went 20 minutes with him last week about this topic. No, I'm not. I got nothing to say.
All right, I didn't know that, so you should have said that ahead of time when you saw it on the sheet. I wouldn't have brought it up.
No, what did I say when we were recording last week?
Yep.
He wasn't going to listen to what we said. Called it.
You should have
if I-
bet.
Thank
You
you.
should have bet.
If I didn't get time to watch NXT, when do you think I was going to have time to listen to this?
We're a better show.
Well, that's true, particularly when I'm on it. But whatever. Okay.
I don't know.
Oh.
See, he definitely didn't watch it. The last thing I said last week was this was one of the best shows we had. We flowed well. We had a nice time. He definitely.
Oh my god!
I seriously doubt that.
First of all,
Go
if
watch
you didn't, you should of all people should go back because we got into it. Like we got into it. You never heard us get into it. We got into it last week.
You were fighting?
Spirited debate, I
Yeah.
think, is a good term.
Well, now I almost want to listen to it. I'm going to hang up and go listen to it. I'll be back in an hour.
We'll finish
you'll
up
need
here.
two. You'll need two.
Two?
We went
You need
2
a
hours.
couple hours.
We went 2 hours.
Right.
That
Not
argument
all
went
about
a
Bobby
half
Lashley.
hour.
That's why you need me, because I keep things under an hour and a half. I'm surprised you guys didn't go all
You were
night.
going
I'm
to say
surprised-
an hour, and you didn't
Not-
want to
well,
sound
we
like a
never-
liar.
I think we did wrap up.
we never
around
go in
one-
it. We go more than an hour. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that.
Oh yeah,
We wrapped up around 1 a.m.
it was
Yikes.
a good time. It was a good time. Oh, but yeah, I agree with you about how they introduce people in, but it does seem that with the story that they've been doing in AEW right now, there's a tier of folks who haven't really been affected yet, and I think, and Swerve's in that tier. I think like Hangman's pretty much in that tier, and there's a few others, maybe
Jay
Christian.
White, Adam Cole, MJF.
Yeah, they're not in that yet, so there's a chance to have those storylines do whatever they're doing parallel. It's interesting that they're gonna build the faction. They're gonna do this Hurt Syndicate thing to me, so it's interesting to me. I just don't know where it'll fit in or if it'll get forgotten, in 2 weeks because Moxley and his crew run around with a hammer again. I don't know.
Yeah, next time they're gonna break somebody's hand, they should either cut away or
Thank you.
have Claudio
He couldn't decide.
They weren't sure.
close to the hand. This is the exploding ring all over again,
Yes.
right?
Sure. Yes.
This is the exploding ring all over again. Either go to black or cut away or do it better. I mean, Claudio was like, "Here's your hand," and he was like, "Over here," and I'm
Yep.
like, "Why are you
And they
shaking your hand? He didn't hit you."
They could have panned right back over so you could see the reaction to it.
Right. They could have made a lot louder of a bang. It would have
Yep.
sounded like really really hurt.
And this goes to show that watching this for 5 years, I was unfazed and didn't give a crap. And I didn't sit there getting angry and rolling my eyes. I was just like,
It's not that
Okay.
I get angry or roll. I just went, wow, he didn't even get close. Okay. I mean, whatever.
Sometimes you
You know?
need to pre-tape. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I-
Sometimes
I'm-
you need to pre-tape.
You're
a
not
segment.
wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Or you got to look at that and go, dude, you need to do that again. Hit him
Yeah.
again and get closer this time.
well, and going back to the Lashley debut, I mean, it basically looked like something we saw earlier in the show or last week with Moxley's crew. They basically took some people out. Not as many, bigger name, but
Mhm.
all over again. And come on, we don't know the Young Bucks are going to come back and play hero and feed their
Right.
own
Well,
egos.
the other thing I think is funny is Moxley's crew comes out and they're beating people up, and you don't see Jay White, you don't see Hangman, you don't see any of the top level players come out.
No.
The poor Dark Order gets thrown out there and they get their asses whipped.
Dark fodder.
You get Private Party. Like right. You get the lower end of the group come out, and of course they look dominant because they're main eventers and they're fighting basically the preliminary guys for the most part. I'm like,
there's one main eventer in that group. Let's be honest. Claudio's not a main eventer. Pac is not a main eventer. Wheeler Yuta certainly ain't no main eventer.
He could have main evented like a WWF Velocity back in the day.
Or Ring of Honor on the Honor Club.
For all we know, he could be.
He's a Ring of Honor
Nobody
guy.
would see it.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. I'm surprised you didn't have anything to say, Reverend, about Private Party finally getting over the hump.
Are they really over the hump?
Well, they won the titles finally after how much
true.
they've been in AEW 5 years. They've never won anything.
I feel like, again, this is like they did this with the titles a while back too, where I thought there was one we talked about it. There was one point where they should have done the title change, and it would have been a great moment, and it would have been a pay-per-view. And then they waited, and they waited longer, like 3 more weeks, and it's kind of like, well, come on, do it for real. Because now, what I'm hoping doesn't happen is that they just feed them to Mox and them for and just shoot the titles over to those guys. That's what I'm hoping doesn't happen. But if they can manage to let them work, hey, good. I just don't trust it anymore. I don't trust them. Not Private Party. I just don't trust. I don't trust the bookers.
I mean, definitely years past when we probably thought it would have been ideal, and I'll give them credit. They kicked out of Young Bucks finishers left and right, and Young Bucks sold their finisher. Well, Young Bucks actually sold the finisher and didn't kick out.
Rare.
But how many people really gave a crap? I was semi-entertained when they're showing the crowd during that match, and you could tell it was the one side and then a few rows on the other side. Even when they were trying to show behind the ring announcers, there were a couple times they really panned out. You could see there's nobody there.
You guys tell me this. I don't mind surprise changes, and I don't mind TV changes of titles, but I like it when they build up more. I tend to enjoy that process more when they build towards a title change. So sometimes everything can't be a surprise because you don't know how to react when you're there. And sometimes it'll happen so quick that you're just like, wait, what?
Was this a surprise? I mean, they basically announced it where that they didn't win, they were going to split up. I mean, didn't you know they were going to win at that point?
Yeah, I know. But even then, I still thought, yeah, they'll probably try to split them up. That was really my thought behind it. Because at this point, it's like they didn't have any equity with me as a fan, because I watched them fail over and over, and there was no reason for me to believe then. So it's nice. It was a nice surprise that they won, but I don't know. Maybe it just didn't hit for me as well as it should have.
Well, I think they did a poor job of building those guys. They had them basically as losers up to about a month ago.
Mm-hmm. He has a point. Yeah.
It seemed like the shows were getting better.
Yeah.
Once again, they blew it over and over again. And honestly,
did they
I feel
blow
like
it fully?
I don't agree with that statement. I think they're making some mistakes, but I don't think the shows are horrible.
It's been 5 years, and they still haven't figured it out. I'm sorry. The second that TV deal got officially announced, or whatever their way they wanted to say it was announced, the quality's gone downhill since. Like the Moxley, the storyline with Moxley and the former members of the Blackpool Combat Club and Pac, this is NWO all over again. Why should I care? It is. Jay, you could have that look on your face.
No, I'm not questioning. I'm more imagining it. I'm like, I hadn't considered it like that.
I don't know. I'm not. I saw a commercial. They were advertising for Full Gear during that broadcast, and I turned to my wife and I said, "You know what? Don't care that we're going to be away, and I'm not going to see that one." And she's like, and she looked at me and I said, "And it's in Newark, and I just don't care. I wouldn't go." Just as I was happy I didn't spend the money to drive down to Hershey and go see that NXT Halloween Havoc this past weekend.
I don't know. I don't think it's all bad. My problem with this Moxley thing is it looks like they're not, Orange Cassidy is going to be the guy to step up. And I was like saying to myself, if he's really the guy you want to push, if you really want him to be the one to end this, is now the time to do that? Or like, are you sacrificing him first for whoever comes next? Because who's going to be the guy that eventually ends all this? Like, my problem with AEW is I don't know what kind of long-term booking they actually do. And I always thought if you're really, really going to push Orange Cassidy, if this is the guy you want to make your next champion, like Moxley's got to run over some people first. And then have Orange Cassidy come out of nowhere and be like, nah, it stops with me. I'm here now. I'm the guy. You know what I mean? So I can't figure out if he's going to be the guy that Moxley just runs over onto the next thing,
Right?
Or is he the guy that's going to stop? Because I can't see them stopping the momentum that Moxley has right now, right, in that group. I don't see him being the one. I see them killing it, and I don't see Darby doing it either. So I can't figure out where this all fits in. Like at some point, are the other main eventers going to? I mean, he's got the world title. Like, why is no one chasing the world title now?
Right, because all of this stuff is happening in terms of run-ins and backstage beatings and things like that. It's not matches, like title matches. It's so I don't know. It would be weird if it's Orange Cassidy first,
right? You've
unless
got
it's
all these
Orange
guys.
Cassidy first, and then they have to do something where they evolve his character again, and down the road he comes back and makes that comeback towards it. That's a possibility, but I don't.
Do
Again,
you think
that's
do you think
way
they have
long
that
term.
kind of savvy booking? I don't think they do.
Yeah, it's very long term.
That's my
storytelling.
problem. Is if that's the arc, great. Prove it to me. I don't think they're going to do that. Yeah. Right. And right now they've got so many good heels or heelish type characters. I don't see a heel champion being the benefit right now. Because MJF and and Christian and they're not going to challenge Moxley. I mean they're talking around him now. If you hear some of the interviews, they're like, "Oh, all due respect to Moxley," so they're not looking to challenge him at this point. So you're putting up Orange Cassidy first. I like Orange Cassidy. I don't know if I see him world title material though. That's my problem. I don't like him and Darby. I like them. I think they're entertaining, but do I see them carrying the world title? I don't know. So I don't know.
That's their job though, right? That's the company's job now to put them in a position where it looks like, oh, this guy could reasonably do it, and we have yet to see that. We see shades of it, but we don't really see that commitment to it.
Yeah. I don't know. And like I said, now you got. I mean, look at Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, like two Orange Cassidys make one Bobby Lashley, right? Darby Allin, 3 Darby Allins make one Bobby Lashley. You mean Darby Allin's going to win the world title, and Bobby Lashley's not going to squish him up a little ball and throw him in the corner and call it done?
Right.
I mean, it's hard enough to see Brody King lose to Darby Allin, right? Because look at the size difference there. Bobby Lashley is like another level. So I don't know. I just I don't know where they're going with this. I want to see where they're going, but I don't know where they're going.
Are they just
as usual, I'm just shaking my head going.
Are they just hoping Adam Copeland's leg heals soon? Is that just a holding pattern?
Don't forget Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega. Okay,
Will
yes, and
Ospreay?
Kenny Omega is somebody who I'd look at and say, okay, a healthy Kenny Omega is somebody I'd look at and say, okay, there's somebody who could lead that charge and take the title off him. If they'd kept building up Wardlow, maybe a Wardlow. If Samoa Joe comes back, he does. I don't know if he'd win, but that'd be a hell of a series of fights.
Hey, we are one rant away from Christian insulting Renee Paquette and turning him face. It could work.
It's true too.
Or he tells Renee after an interview, go spend time with your ugly daughter. Now Moxley's like, all right, now you made it personal, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm still curious. I still want to see what they do. It's just like, oh.
Christian might be the one guy that could redo the Jerry Lawler, Jake the Snake Roberts storyline and throw alcohol in Moxley's mouth and get away with it. Just saying.
I realize Moxley's a character, but like, do you see him at home, like sitting on the couch, like playing with his kid, like hanging out, being like, I can't
picture it. I've never been able to picture it.
I see him talking to his kid like he talks on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're gonna change this paradigm. You used to poop in your diapers, but you're not doing it anymore. We're gonna change this around, and you're
also
gonna stop
every
wearing
family
diapers.
photo. Yep, and every
Right?
family photo, I can't picture him smiling. I can't picture him. Just
I can't.
holding a baby.
I still can't figure out how he ended up with Renee because Renee seems always so happy and so bubbly, and then God, I met him in person, and she was sitting right next to him. You wouldn't know that they were together. He definitely, if he's able to turn it on and turn it off, he does an excellent job of it. I'll give him
And
that.
I don't know if you read some recent article. He said that without her, he'd be dead.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever she does it for him. You know what I mean? Like, and you're right. When I look at them, I'm like, I really can't see how they're together. But I don't know. He must be, like you said, he must be able to turn it off when the camera's off. He might be like a real soft-spoken, quiet guy when the camera's off. But I don't know. I look at him and I'm like, I can see him ordering a pizza and being like, "You're gonna make sure the pizza's right. We're gonna change the paradigm, right? You're not gonna put the sauce first. You're gonna put the cheese."
Gripping up the delivery guy.
Right? Calm down, man.
I got the breadsticks. Don't worry.
You don't put the pineapple on the pizza. We don't eat pizza. We're gonna change the paradigm.
All right,
Dude,
we're starting to
stop saying that.
We're starting to sound like AEW writing here.
Is that going to be the title of this episode?
What?
We're going to change the paradigm.
All right.
I guess that's far cry from what I was going to probably throw out there. So whatever.
So last thing we're going to talk about tonight is we have Crown Jewel this weekend, right?
Yes.
The card that nobody cares about. And I'm thankful that Goldberg is not anywhere near this card.
Wait, it's not Thanksgiving or Survivor Series yet. You don't have to be thankful for anything.
Well, I'm thankful.
You can be grateful.
All right, I'll be grateful then. How's that? All right.
It's all about branding.
Saudi Arabia, blood money. 2 ugly new titles that they have to pretend they care about. Let's get started. Seth freaking Rollins against Big Bronson Reed. I don't know.
Give me Bronson.
You think Bronson's going to win?
Give me Bronson. I want him running through some people. Give me Bronson.
I mean, Honest should win. If you want to propel him into the title picture at some point, he needs a big win. He hasn't gotten one, right? I mean, he really even hasn't been beaten Strowman, right? I mean, all those matches, which he didn't really win that feud.
No, as a matter of fact, Seth Rollins cost him that win.
Right. I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins, I guess. think
I
Seth
mean-
Rollins pulls this one out, but there's going to be a rematch at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I want to agree with Jason because I would rather see Big Bronson get over. I just find him more interesting than Seth right now. But we're also in Saudi Arabia.
All right, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Damn it.
You could change it.
You can still change your pick.
It's just frustrating because it's not just how their regular writers are gonna book things. It's how their benefactors are gonna book things. That's really who they're writing for this pay-per-view. So that makes it tough. Ah, shit.
All right, this is only the first
damn
match.
it.
If you're
I made
agonizing
it.
this much,
No, I forgot that completely changed how I was gonna think about it. You know what? Change it to Seth.
you're going to kick yourself if Bronson Reed wins.
I'll be glad if he does. I will be pleasantly surprised.
All right. So then we have Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Why are you smiling?
This is one where I think KO's rise to the top is coming, and it's starting here. I'm going KO.
Yeah, I was going to pick KO. But I'm trying to figure out where is he going to challenge Cody again?
Eventually.
I think so, and I actually wonder if this time he wins. Because otherwise, what was the point of this heel turn and him attacking Cody backstage using fan video to showcase it? And then this whole fight that Randy Orton had to get, calling Triple H out to get the match. I think KO has to go over. I think this is finally the chance for KO to finally rise back up. And maybe we'll even see a world title reign. I don't know. I could hope,
Yeah,
but
I'm going to
ahead.
go KO as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Okay, so how about this? Why don't somebody can just go the gambit of the rest of these matches because we're all going to probably agree on all of them anyway. Haha.
Hmm.
All right.
Here's an example: Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Tag Team Championship. We have champions Kate Cargill and Bianca Belair. We have Damage Control, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky. From NXT, we have Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, and then we have Chelsea Green. Oh, I'm sorry, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Does anyone think Cargill and Bianca are not winning this match?
I
think they're
don't,
gonna win.
but then again, I didn't think they were going to lose it last time they lost it.
All right,
They're
that's
not
fair.
losing this time.
But that's also they weren't they're in nobody's hometown this time, so yeah, that's true. What about that triple threat match then?
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, it's LA Knight defending against Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. Is anyone picking against LA Knight?
No, I don't see any title changes during this show.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. So we're all in agreement on LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to make this somewhat entertaining. Folks, you know what? You could just stop the recording right now. We'll see you next week. We'll keep going.
Well, actually, the next three are the ones that could go either way.
All right. All right. Well, go ahead.
I don't agree with that, but go ahead.
Lead us in then.
All right. The WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship, which is a legitimate title now in professional wrestling.
Looks like a 24/7 title.
It will feature the WWE Women's Champion, Nia Jax, versus the Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan. Give me a coin.
Now, I read something
I wanna
online
flip
that
a
somebody
coin.
thought that somebody said Tiffany Stratton was going to cash in and win the women's world title. And I was saying, they're not on the line.
No, but if you
Right?
cash in,
She could cash in, or
Yeah,
she
she
could
could
wait till the
cash in
match is
against-
over and cash in.
yeah, which is an interesting
So do you think
prospect.
there's a chance that Tiffany Stratton costs Nia Jax the title and cashes in and wins the title? So Nia Jax doesn't win the Crown and also loses her belt.
I mean, Nia is seen to have adopted Candice LeRae as her second now, so
Yeah.
Tiffany could be going for revenge. I don't think that. I think it's too soon for them to be doing that. I thought it was more likely that Tiffany would cash in on Liv Morgan, but. All right, Crown Jewel Championship first. What are you guys thinking? If you think it's Tiffany cashing in and this match doesn't actually have a winner, that's fine. Just say so, if that's your pick.
You know, I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
That's an interesting theory.
I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go outside the box.
So no contest. No contest. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, who wins the Nia versus Liv match? You're saying that it's not going to end.
Well, I don't think.
He doesn't think much of anything because his internet went out.
Yeah.
I mean, they went ahead and made this phony belt up. Are they going to not have somebody win it?
I can't imagine that.
We lost you again for about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to go that Tiffany is going to cost Nia the belt.
Okay.
And then she's going to cash in and beat Nia. That's
All right,
my.
Okay,
guess.
so you're going with Liv to
Liv
win.
Morgan. Okay.
Liv Morgan to win the Crown Jewel Championship and Tiffany to cash in.
Okay, so bonus points if you get the cash in right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to just go straight up Nia Jax is winning. I could see a Tiffany cash in happening, but I don't think it's going to right now. I'm going to check Tiffany's social media and see if she actually went to Saudi.
Oh.
Because she hasn't been that slick. Go ahead.
Come on, Reverend. Be bold.
I think Nia should win this match because she's the only competitor who can actually hold that belt up.
Wow.
You think Liv Morgan can't carry it?
I think it eclipses Liv Morgan.
I got news for you. Her boyfriend couldn't carry it either.
No, he couldn't. When I say Nia Jax is the only one, I mean
that's
it.
string bean. Spaghetti arm bastard.
Love to hate some Dom. Love hating on Dom, man. Love it.
Tattoos should not be. You should not be able to read them all the way around his arm.
Hey, let's give the guy credit. A famous actor and Broadway superstar dressed up as Dirty Tom.
He did.
For Halloween.
Hey, he beat Damian Priest this week.
He did.
By the way, I could confirm Tiffany Stratton is in Saudi Arabia.
All right, well, there you go. So who you picking, Reverend? Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm serious. I'm going with Nia Jax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you calling?
I think she'll have enough to counter Liv's entourage. So.
Okay. Are you calling a cash in on this?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
I don't know about the cash in.
Okay.
All right. So we have the OTC Roman Reigns main event, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso versus the New Bloodline, and we don't know which members of the New Bloodline it's going to be. It could be Solo, it could be Tama Tonga, it could be Jacob Fatu.
By the way, should we start a Patreon and then we'll donate the funds for Rob to get better internet?
All right.
I feel like
I was serious.
I feel like GoFundMe's are better in this case because you can put a sad story to them, and I think that's what'll bring in the money for you.
Rob always can't finish the podcast every week because his internet cuts out. I bet you his mobile. I bet you
his thoughts incomplete.
We should have Rob next week. We should do the show where you just call, use your cell phone with the Skype app, and use mobile data. He'll probably end up being 10 times better.
How about next week I just use 2 cans and a string?
That could work.
Could do that.
Or carrier pigeon.
I think if you hook a mirror onto it, it works with the video chat.
We'll do it old
How about
school.
Use carrier pigeon?
We'll do it old school. Everyone will get stuck looking at me, and then I'll put the LimeWire logo and be like calling in the devil's advocate, and I'll just play the speaker.
Look, I'll just take out my flip phone and do it from there. It'll be fine.
Nice.
All right. Can we get back to what we were doing now?
No, we got to get over the 1 hour
interlude.
threshold. We got 3 seconds. Okay, I think we got it.
All right.
Okay.
So we have the new bloodline versus the old bloodline. Who do you like?
At some point, are they going to let the new bloodline win the match?
I think they're going to win this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
New
And
bloodline.
I think poor Jimmy Uso is going to eat the pin
All right.
Yes. He's gonna have to.
because he's the loser in that group.
All right. I'm willing to go with that, and I think they should win anyway. So.
Because we're getting down to Survivor Series, right? So I mean, if they're gonna really do 5-on-5, the new bloodline got to win something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already got the Sami
That
Zayn
makes
hints.
I was gonna say the Sami Zayn thing makes it a little more dramatic there. Whose side will he pick?
Would it be cool if he picked the new bloodline?
I was thinking
Because I'm not family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Sami Zayn heel turn.
Yeah.
He's a fun heel.
At that point, I would just say
he's not feeling very oozy right now.
There you go.
I would just at that point I would just rather him say, you know what, I'm staying out of this altogether.
All right. The last match, the WWE Men's Crown Jewel Championship. We have the undisputed champion Cody Rhodes versus the plain old world champion Gunther. Apparently, he's under some kind of dispute.
I just like the idea of plain old world. Yeah,
I'm undisputed.
world.
You're obviously disputed. I mean, somebody doesn't agree with it. I don't know. Okay, so who do you like? I think Cody Rhodes wins. I don't see Gunther winning this one.
I feel like Cody Rhodes' job is to be WWE's inaugural whatever at any time necessary. So
if they open a WWE supermarket, he'll be there cutting the ribbon?
Yeah, that's basically who he is. He is the mayor of WWE right now. So, yeah, I think he wins this match.
He's kissing the baby, taking the hand. Yeah.
And the fact that Kevin Owens is on this card earlier and has an issue with Cody, I think Kevin Owens is hosting Cody this match and Gunther's winning.
That's strong. I like that.
You know what? I think Rob's is more out of the box than what I'm saying. I'm giving Rob credit for coming up with the most out of the box pick here.
I'm tired of being safe. We got to go outside the box once in a while here.
I know. I was looking at the standings and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Rob and I have had like the same record on every pay-per-view the last 8 months.
I mean, to be fair, when it's an NXT one, we know
and
why.
Then you look back and you go like this, you can see the Reverend.
I had one weekend that I was hopped up on cold medicine, and y'all gonna hold it against me for the rest of the year. I think
the rest of the year, the rest of your life.
Why do you think I brought you on the show so he could pick on you instead of me
Jason,
with the win?
When I'm at your funeral, I'm gonna be like, he's a great guy. I loved him, but
when
man, he
you're
could not
at
pick
my
wrestling
funeral,
matches.
when you're at my funeral,
what
kind of immortal are you?
I'm gonna outlive all you bastards. Don't you worry. Only the good die young. I got a long way to go.
Wow. Well, then I guess I should take the compliment. Damn.
As I was saying, at your funeral, I would be like, he's a great guy. I love him. But, man, he could not pick wrestling matches to save his life. Let me tell you about this one time. He claims he was on cold medicine.
I'm picturing it at a church, though, and you just hear,
Right? You just hear your family being like, who the fuck is this guy?
It's true.
What the hell are you talking about?
I feel like one of my siblings, though, would be there nodding, like, yeah, it's true.
I'd be like, you know what? I want to tell you a story that's close to my heart. There was this pay-per-view.
Just to reiterate, Rob and I have had the same exact win-loss record, except for one show, going back to the last time Bad Blood, he and I weren't in sync, and then before that it was Money in the Bank.
That's pretty impressive.
Right?
He copies me. I mean, it's not that impressive.
You want the truth? Go look at the standings, pal. I've been the top guy going back to Forbidden Door, and I don't care about losing Forbidden Door. Do you?
You've never been a top guy.
He called you a B+ player, man. You gonna take that?
been taking it for 15 fucking years.
I was
Jesus
gonna
Christ.
say he comes back for more, so it's not can't bother him at all. Come on.
Fair enough.
Hey, look,
None of
I see the way he talks to his lifelong friend. I get the tame end of him.
You've moved into the next tier. You've gotten an upgrade. It's coming.
Mm.
Lucky you. I was quite surprised how tame he was when the Yankees lost. I really was. When I woke up next morning, I was expecting like the onslaught, and instead I got like, oh, not so sorry, guy.
Oh, meanwhile, I'm reading it and I'm like, wow, why am I getting this text message? Fucking asshole. Send it to Rob. Keep me out of this crap.
Hey, shrapnel hits everybody, buddy.
Apparently.
All right.
Yeah, so Rob said gut feeling Yankees in 6 when his friend asked, well, why do you say Yankees in 6? He said gut feeling. So I wake up to a text from his friend. So how's your gut feeling now? Okay.
Oh, he
They
sent it
lost.
to you though,
Well, it's a group chat.
or both of you? Okay. I was gonna
Anthony-
say that'd be messed up. If it was
Anthony is likes to observe. He usually doesn't get hit with the shrapnel. He just observes because
Yeah, the first time I
usually
went out to dinner with these two, I was just like, we were driving back after dinner, and Rob's like looking at me and he's like, "How you doing back there?" And I was like, "I don't know how the hell you two are friends after all these years with the shit you say to each other." Like, I wouldn't say half the shit they say to each other, I would not say to my enemy.
wow.
Yeah.
I made. I'll give you a quick hint. When the Mets hired Mickey Callaway, I went on a rant about how they should hire all sex offenders. The Mets should just hire all sex offenders to work their stadium.
I
So
remember this.
I wrote like, I hear Roman Polanski needs a job. Gary Glitter can write a new theme song. Mike Tyson could run security. Wood Allen could make a documentary. Bill Cosby and Kevin Spacey on commentary. What I say about Jared Fogle?
Catering.
He could sell the subs.
Jared Fogle could go. Oh, he's in charge of concessions, and that's basically what I sent him. And I put Anthony on there because, like, yeah, somebody else has to read these. These are just, there needs to be witness to the massacre. So.
And before they did this on text message, they sometimes did it on email, and I got copied on those too.
Oh man, don't run for Senate,
Dude. I can't keep the closet closed with all the skeletons in it. I mean, come on, forget it. Public office is not for me.
I was gonna say with this stuff with this election, with all the stuff that Trump's done, come on.
that's true. Maybe you could make a run, man.
Right?
I'd rather be the guy I'd rather be the puppet master rather than the puppet, to be honest with you.
That is a campaign slogan that would get you votes, by the way.
All right.
Yeah.
With all that nonsense said, why don't you
Folks,
wrap us up, Encyclopedia?
Folks, this is the shortest episode we've had in probably the last 6 months, for all we know. We're going to keep this under an hour and 10. So we thank you all for watching. Remember to check us out on Sports Frenzy Pod on Twitter, the Sports Frenzy Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. We thank you for watching. Remember to check out OTBS. And if you see a miserable person sitting in the upper deck of MetLife Stadium on Sunday, that is me. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm the idiot that bought the tickets. Have a great weekend, all.